Welcome to this edition of Online TV. I'm your host, Mr. Jeff Mann, and I'm a Senior Information Security Consultant at Online Business Systems. Online is a digital transformation and cybersecurity consultancy company. For nearly 35 years, we've been working with clients throughout North America on a range of IT, business, and security projects and programs. Today, we're talking to Rose Monroe, who's a senior consultant in our risk security and privacy practice. She's also one of Online's Women Cyber Warriors, and together they're co-presenting a presentation entitled "You Can Get There From Here: The Stepping Stones for Reaching Your Goal of a Job in Cybersecurity." Rose, welcome to Online TV.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm happy to be here.
Super to have you. I've been asking all the women cyber warriors just to kick things off. Could you tell us a little bit about your journey? How did you get to where you are today in cybersecurity?
Sure, absolutely. So I actually got into cybersecurity in a little bit different path than most folks. Mm-hmm. I joined the military. Went to college, realized it wasn't quite for me yet. Joined the military, and I got into radioman. The radioman rate, which was a communications rate, really focused on patch paneling and satellites and that sort of thing. I ended up, as the rate got removed, it became obsolete. It actually rolled into the DP rate, and the DP rate is your data processors, so computers.
Okay.
And that's how I kind of rolled into computers, because I'll be honest, when I joined, I knew nothing about computers. I knew how to turn them on. That was about it.
Right.
And over the course of 10 years, I grew in that field. I, started out just monitoring systems for uptime, that sort of thing, and rolled into help desk and forensics and systems administration, and eventually landed in information assurance, so information security.
Right. You describe that as not a typical path. I would say that's a very typical path for men. It may be, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I too have a DoD background. I was civilian, but I certainly have worked for, DoD military organizations and have known dozens, if not hundreds of people that sort of had your similar career path, except for usually they were white guys, frankly. So I want to encourage you to say that, that's not an uncommon path, but perhaps it's an uncommon path because you're a woman in cyber, which is kind of what we're talking about, right? So
absolutely.
Shifting gears to this presentation, how did you get involved in the project to put this presentation together?
Well, some of the other women cyber warriors within Online, reached out to me. We have a pretty close-knit group. And they reached out and said, "Hey, are you interested in, kind of presenting the value and what cybersecurity has for folks, and that women who are so severely underrepresented in this field, that oftentimes women think that they just don't have the skills. They have been program managers or financial folks, but they've always had this interest, but they think that they don't have the knowledge or experience to get into cybersecurity." And so we kind of collectively decided, what if we put together some information that we think that would be helpful, help them understand that, hey, look, being a babysitter, for example, a daycare provider, right? You've learned how to manage folks. You've learned how to troubleshoot. You've learned how to, monitor a situation. And those things those skills do translate in some way over to cybersecurity, given that's probably not the best example. But the skills are the skills regardless of the field that you're in. And it's how you apply those skills and those knowledge areas to the field that you decide to work in.
No, it's a great point actually, and I'm chuckling because you and I work together, and we have customers sometimes where we, and of course, our whole practice talks about being the chief cat herder, and being able to control a group of young people, children in daycare or something like that. I mean, yeah, they really are useful life skills, and especially within our field, as it turns out. Um, what is your topic, or what is your area of focus in terms of what you're presenting?
So my area of focus within the presentation is really on the different tools that are out there for folks, right? So
Okay.
a lot of people believe you have to go to college, um, you have to have a certification in order to get into cybersecurity. And
Mhm.
while those things are absolutely valuable and they do help you get your foot in the door, there are other ways if you don't have the time or the money um, to dedicate to those areas. There
Mhm.
are plenty of opportunities such as podcasts that you can listen to beef up your knowledge. There's forums and newsletters that you can join that
Mhm.
are totally free and allow you to kind of pick through the vast landscape of cybersecurity and pick out what's interesting and important to you and help you kind of navigate that path to
Right.
getting to where you want to be.
Right. Um, Sherry Collis had put together a sort of an introduction to the whole talk presentation. That's one of the videos in the series. And in that, she described how the presentation sort of lends itself to being tailored to different audiences, whether it's young women that are still in school, either high school or college, and you're trying to encourage them to, pursue this as a career field, or women re-entering the workforce. Women have the unique honor of being able to do childbearing. It's not something I do. Um, or women that are in a different field, and they're trying to cross train, and or find a new career path. Which of those, if any, is sort of your sweet spot? Do you have a particular audience that you really want to be able to reach with this presentation?
I personally really want to reach the young women,
Mhm.
the women that are in schools, even all the way down into your middle school level, right? Because
Mhm.
women, girls at a young age, even still to this day, um, don't get necessarily the full support of, hey, yes, you can do this. This is not just because it's technical, it's computers, et cetera. It doesn't mean that you can't do that.
Mhm.
We're still, I think, a little bit in that mindset of women are, need to raise families and all of those things, and aren't, I would say, are not as encouraged as broadly as men are and boys
Right.
are. And
Right.
so, I really want to show these young girls, young women, that this is they absolutely have a place, that they would be welcome. They would bring, amazing diversity to teams that across the globe. And I think that that's important, that we really drive home that point, that cybersecurity is a huge field. There
Mhm.
is a place for everyone, and women absolutely should be a integral part of that.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for helping us to get a better understanding of you can get there from here. To our audience, I would say look for future episodes of Online TV, where we'll be talking to the other women cyber warriors, and to give you a sort of a complete teaser picture of this presentation that they've put together. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much.